Hi everyone, and welcome to this video on some of the custom macros which I've made on SolidWorks. I'll also be taking you through how to add a custom macro to your interface and just explaining a little bit of detail on how to make these icons as well to make your macros look really professional and make them look like they really fit in with your current interface, make it look nice as well. So the first macro which we're going to take a look at is the convert edges macro which I've made. If you look to the left of it, you can see the convert entities icon which already exists. I've tried to make it look a little bit like that, make it look legit. Why not? So let's just go ahead and click it. And you can see what it does is brings up a 3D sketch of all of the hard edges in your model. So say for example you wanted to make a weldment frame which you're going to then make members going along each of these different entities here. You could start with a block, hit convert edges, and then you'd have that existing framework which you could then work from. The other nice thing about this macro is that it creates a converted edges 3D sketch straight after all of your existing features, and it names it as well. Next macro which we're going to take a look at is the skeleton mode macro which I've made. The origin of this macro was that I was always editing style splines when I was surface modeling and such, and I found that dimensions and relations kept getting in the way, and I wanted a quick way to turn them off and on without having to click the eye here every time and then select both of them. So what this does, if you've got either sketch dimensions or sketch relations on, you can click skeleton mode and it'll turn them both off. Then you're free to edit that star spline as you need in a nice kind of skeleton of the sketch, and you can click it again and it'll turn them both back on. However, see if I have one of them turned off, I can click it and it'll turn them off as well. If I have the other one on and I click it, it'll turn it off. And then clicking it again will bring them both back up. So it's just nice being programmed to do that. So moving on to making custom macro buttons and making the icons. The first thing you should know is that it's always 20 by 20 pixels. So you can see down there, 20 by 20 pixels. I've just zoomed in here. Now if you have a white background on the image which you're using, that'll automatically come up as transparent when on SolidWorks. So I've just made a skull here with a white background, and that came through really nicely as you saw in the SolidWorks interface. There you have it in SolidWorks. Now if you're going to make one of these buttons, I'll show you how to do that now. The first thing you're going to need to do is just right click and go to customize. Okay, and then find in the shortcut bars, you're going to have to drop down unfortunately, and just look for macro, and then the last one along there, new macro button, you're going to just click and drag that onto where you want the button on your interface. Although having said that, you can always drag it around afterwards, so don't worry too much. Now this interface is going to come up, and what you've got to do is just browse for the macro. I keep all my macros in one folder, which is definitely a good idea. I'm just going to go for customer macro 1, couldn't tell you what it does, but I'll just put that in. And now icon, choose image, and I'm going to go for this one here. As you can see, it's got some white bits in it which will come through as transparent. Open that up and hit OK, and you can see that comes up, customer macro 1. So that does show as well that you need to have a good name for the file, because that's what's going to come through in SolidWorks. So thanks for taking the time to watch that video. I hope it's been of use to you, and I hope it's perhaps shed some light on custom macros and you maybe learned something which you didn't know. Please like, comment, subscribe, it goes a long way. Get me on LinkedIn as well, feel free to do that. I'm going to provide a link for those two custom macros which we discussed down in the description, and I'll give you a link for the icons as well so you can use that. And make sure you check out the rest of my videos. I'll see you next time.